is Dan again. Apologize that haven't gotten to these videos in quite some time with COVID and the pandemic and everything going on. I just didn't get enough time to stay up to date with the latest versions of Appium, which I believe since my 1.15.1 video, there's been a 1.16, 1.17, and at this point 1.18 at the time that I'm recording this. So we're just going to jump to the directions for 1.18 with all of the latest Mac versions, Catalina 10.15.6, Xcode 11.6, and iOS 13.6.1. There has been some changes, so I've been playing with the instructions here, and I think I got it to a point where it's fairly stable. So as always, we're starting with a freshly restored Mac to factory settings and a freshly restored iPad as well. And we're just gonna go through and hopefully this resolves any issues you were having if you guys are having issues installing the latest version. So the only thing that I did ahead of time was install Xcode, just because Xcode does take 2 to 3 hours to install, especially on a slower Mac. I'm using a MacBook Air, a later generation MacBook Air, so it's not the fastest Mac out there, and it is fairly slow, but it does the job. So I installed Xcode ahead of time just to kind of speed this along. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our settings here and we're going to set the display and brightness, the auto lock setting to never, as that will interfere with this process. So make sure you have that set to never. And then you do want to open Xcode once you've installed it. You want to go into the window, devices and simulators. You want to make sure that there's no installation processes going on here at the top. If so, there'll be a yellow banner. If you see that, go ahead and let it finish installing whatever it's installing. And then once you get to this screen where you have all your device information, there's no processes in the background, then you should be set to exit out of this. Once those installs are done, you should see a developer option under your settings. If you scroll all the way to the bottom here, and under that developer option, you do want to make sure this enable UI automation setting is set to on. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and move forward. I think for that, that's pretty much steps 1 through 4. Do want to make sure I have my account listed in Xcode here. Under the preferences accounts, I didn't add that yet. You do want to add a Apple developer account. This is the paid $99 subscription account that you have. Any Apple ID won't suffice. You will need a paid developer subscription in order to create the provisioning profiles and the certificates needed to run Appium. So using my wife's account just because she has a current subscription and I do not. At the moment, mine has lapsed. All right, so once you have your account there, we're good to go. I believe that's steps 1 through 4. So we're going to go ahead and open a terminal session here. And we're going to run a few commands. First one being Java minus version. We don't have any Java installed at the moment, given this is a fresh restore. The instruction guideline I have for step 6 here is to install Java 13, which you will need if you plan to install Eclipse and run Eclipse as your IDE. Since we're not doing that today, I'm just going to go ahead and install the latest version of Java, which I believe is 14 at the moment. So if we click more info on that pop-up there after running the Java minus version command, we're going to go straight to the JDK download link. Want to go ahead and click on that, download the Mac OS installer. We're going to go ahead and let that finish downloading. Just keep in mind, if you're installing any other version of Java outside of the latest version, you probably will have to create a free account with Oracle just to get that download. It's fairly easy. You don't need a corporate account or anything to do so. Just go ahead and sign up for it. Let's go ahead and install this JDK. I apologize for the sniffling. I'm in Colorado, and there's a lot of wildfires going on for the past couple weeks, and the air quality's just been terrible. So my allergies have been flaring up quite a bit every day. So apologize for that, but looks like the JDK is done installing. So if I run the Java minus version command, I should see a Java version 14. All looks good. So that's pretty much step 6 there. So we'll go ahead and jump to step 7, which is just a bunch of commands that we're going to run in our open terminal session here. So some of these commands may require a password, so just keep that in mind. Took long enough. Let's go continue. that was the last of the commands. In the meantime, while that's installing, let's go ahead and go to step 8. We're going to head over to Appium.io. Download the latest version of Appium. It's 1.18.0. We're going to do the Mac DNG. Alright, we're going to go ahead and let that download. Alright, looks like that's done. Let's check on our Appium. Alright. Whoops. Looks good. Let's go ahead and launch Appium for the first time. There you go. When you get this error, this is just a Mac security error. To bypass it, just go ahead and hit Show in Finder. Right click on the icon itself, and then click Open from there. And then you'll have another option that will allow you to open the application. So now that we've done that, let's just wait for it to launch here. Alright, now it's launched. Let's go ahead and start it. Make sure the server starts, everything looks good. We'll go ahead and stop the server and close out of Appium. Once we do that, just gonna go back into Xcode for a bit. So let's go ahead and launch Xcode. Pop up. There you go. Go ahead and go to File and Open. You want to copy the path that's indicated in the documentation. Good trick is to hit Command Shift G when you're in this area. You can direct to a path, paste it there. Go ahead and hit Open. Now, once you're here, go ahead and double click on the WebDriver agent. We're going to blow through these steps pretty quick here. Tap on the WebDriver agent library. Click on the signing capabilities tab. Make sure you set the team to your Apple developer account. If you have any errors here, such as previous install certificate, go ahead and revoke the certificate. Make sure you don't have any errors here at this point. Make sure the automatically managed signing option is enabled. And then we're just going to go down the list. For the second one is for tvOS devices. You don't need to enable them. I'm going to leave them disabled for now. With the one below that, WebDriver Agent Runner, make sure that's checked. Do the same. Select your Apple developer account under Team and ensure you don't have any errors here. And then go to the runner and also disable, as this is for tvOS only. And then head all the way down to the integration app. Select your team, which is your dev account, as I mentioned earlier. Make sure the automatic managed signing option is enabled, and then go ahead and tap back on this WebDriver agent project. Make sure your iOS device is located here up top next to the integration app, and then go ahead and build this. At this point, you should see the integration app being installed on your iOS device. Let's give it a minute here. Make sure you hit always allow on any of the password prompts that you see. As you can see, the build succeeded. You do see integration app here on my iPad. It just got installed. That all looks good. Once that's done, go ahead and stop the project. All right, looks like it's all good. So at this point, we're pretty much done with Xcode, and that was steps 14 through 31. Let me just change these steps here. There you go. Had it backwards there. All right. So 31. So we're going to go ahead and get started with 32. Or actually, we don't actually need step 31. So we're going to go ahead and get started with step 32. So going back to your terminal session here, I'm going to run a few more commands. All right, took long enough. Last command we're going to run is the Appium Doctor. We do want to make sure that when this thing runs, we want to take a look at the logs for the necessary dependencies and make sure all the necessary dependencies are green. There's going to be some optional dependencies as well. We're not worried about those for this demonstration, just the necessary dependencies. So. All right, and as you can see here, it's completed, no fixes needed. So we'll go ahead and let this finish, but at this point, we have everything we need to to start Appium initially. So, all right, this looks like we're good. We can go ahead and exit the terminal at this point. We're at step 34, so we're going to relaunch Appium. And we're going to start populating the capabilities here. So in order to get the UDID of your device, just go ahead and open your Finder window. Connect to your iPad. Let that load here. Oh, sorry. Let's go here. And once you load your iPad, you have this top info section right here. If you keep clicking on that, it's not working right now because it's still loading. You'll get to a point where you'll see the UDID. Want to make sure you copy that UDID. Oh. And paste it into your desired capabilities. So we started the server. We're going to go ahead and start the inspector. I'm sorry, my Mac is still functioning very slowly, so please be patient with me here. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the UDID. Paste our UDID there. Next one is bundle ID. And we're just going to use the default Safari application on this iPad just for demonstration. Automation name, I'm going to be using XCUI test. Platform name is iOS. Platform version is 13.6.1. Device name is, we're just going to call it test. I'm going to save these for future use. And we're going to go ahead and start the server. Or start the inspector session. Alright, so yeah, it looks like it's giving me some errors. Like I said, this typically happens to me when I'm recording the session, unfortunately. If you're doing this at home, it should work for you, but let's do some troubleshooting that delay, guys. Yeah, it did turn out to be something with the resources being used up by using the screen recorder for some particular reason. I did have to stop that, restart my Mac and my iPad, and then I didn't have any issues. So I guess just like in the previous step, you want to start your server. You want to make sure that, let's make sure that these logs are clear here. There you go. You should have saved your desired capabilities from the previous step. If so, you should be able to load those. Let's see if I can get it to load here. I'm doing another screen recording for you guys, and it's drawing up a lot of my my hardware. So it's really slowing things down, but let's see how far we get this time around. So let's give it a minute to load. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and load our capabilities. and start the session. And what you should see is the WebDriver agent, which is already on here as it launched while I wasn't recording, just after I restarted my PC and my my Mac and my iPad. So it should launch the WebDriver agent here shortly, and then the inspector should come up with the Safari application as the default based on the bundle ID I gave it. So. There you go. Yep, and that's pretty much it. So at this point, Appium's fully integrated. Should have access to all your iOS objects for any application you choose to run it against. In this case, I'm using the Safari app. So, like I said, I didn't do anything special. Unfortunately, this particular Mac doesn't seem to be able to support screen recording and Appium at the same time. So, like I said, if you had any issues running, you should have had no issues running it the first time, unlike I did. But if you do, go ahead and restart your Mac itself and your iPad. Once everything launches, go ahead and run Appium again, load those capabilities, and then start the inspector, and that should resolve all your issues for you. If it doesn't, feel free to leave a comment, and I can take a look at your particular issue or see if maybe I can run through this again. I did attempt to record this video. This is probably my 6th time, and every other time I didn't use the screen recorder, the installation process went fine. But every time I did use a screen recorder, the installation had failed. So, like and subscribe. I'm trying to keep updated with these videos from this point forward. Can't guarantee that, but I'm going to do my best. So,